Hello, everyone. Thank you for sharing your energy with me today. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Jane, and on this channel, we tap in and connect um, into the ether to provide sessions of education, insight, guidance, and confirmation, and many other things as well. Uh, this is to help guide you on your life's journey and to help you on your soul's path. The other thing too is all the sessions are timeless, just so you know. So whenever this video finds you, it's the right time for you to find it. And I don't believe in coincidences, so you find it when when you need to find it, when you're ready to find it. I just heard your guides will lead you or guide you to this video. The other thing is to like don't try to force anything if it's meant for you, you will have that gut feeling that it's for you, like the messages. Like, and there's many messages in the reading, so some things might not resonate, but other things will. So just take those, lovingly leave the rest behind. And with that, let's begin. So I went on, actually, I'm going to start at the very beginning because I received a message from one of the viewers, and she was asking, we're going to just call her Mary. So shout out to Mary for bringing this message today. She had asked if there was a way to do a reading about meditation and how to connect with your inner intuitive abilities, like in a faster, a speedier way. Unfortunately, Mary, there is no real hard, fast rule. It is something that you have to dedicate to yourself. Like this is like a journey of self-discovery. And with that, I'm going to start the reading. And I received a lot of downloads that, this is really going to be helpful for you. So don't be discouraged by that message that I just said. So I just want you to know I have set up a little bit different than you're probably used to viewing it. So I was asked several things today, actually. And one was to bring out this unicorn horn. Not really sure why, but it's out. There were other things too. I had some visions while I was on my meditation today. And also my pendants have a lot to do with the readings as well. Now, they also had asked me to put on certain colors. So I'm wearing pink and blue, and they asked me to wear my their pants that just have the imprint of moths, butterflies, and dragonflies. And when I was cleaning my table, the moth, the not the moth, the butterfly here, and the dragonfly here, and this bird as well, along with that wing, they really they jumped out. And I also see the key here, and the key here is really sticking out. So there's something about a key, maybe because you're the key. Also, they had brought out like this the note here for the singing note. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, they were talking about this lizard. Now I don't know what the lizard is about, and also they want me to mention about this unicorn here. So I don't not quite sure if you can see those, but those were the main pendants. The pendants usually have something to do with the reading as well. So they drew my attention to them. So there's something here about that. Now, the basically what they wanted me to talk about today is they wanted me to do this one affirmation, which I have never done before. It's called I trust my higher self and I listen with love to my inner voice. So that's talking about your intuition yet again. So the music they asked me to put on is called Soul Awakening. Now, I don't know if you can hear it or not because I have the, you know, everything in a different space this time. Now, they also, the download that I received was, whew, the guides wanted me to express that they will bring us as many messages that we need and as many messages that we ask for or don't ask for because they're going to give them to us anyway. And now you might not be aware of all the messages that spirit is bringing to you. So I am going to like just touch on that a little bit before I start the reading. Now, they also wanted me to talk about um, that if anybody else that wants to have a message done for them or a reading, you can leave a comment, or you can send me an email, which is also in the description spot there. So now you can ask whatever you want from spirit, and when I get that message, I will meditate on it and I'll do a reading for you. And I'll only use your first name because we don't want you know full names going anywhere. So, Mary, this is a shout out to you because on my walk, and I was thinking about you and about the request that you had asked. So I was kind of just thinking about that. I was doing like a meditative walk, because you can meditate while you walk. So I was doing that, and I kept smelling roses. And I was like, that's weird. There's still a little bit of snow on the ground in spots in the woods. And, like, why would I be smelling roses? And I started looking around because I know I was in the area where there are rose bushes, the wild rose bushes. However, nothing has leaves haven't even come out on the trees yet because we're still in early spring here. So I instantly stopped and went, Mother Mary, is that you? And I heard a little chuckle. So I know that Mother Mary has been hanging out with me. So I thought that was kind of funny that, I got a message from somebody named Mary, and then Mother Mary is stepping forward to, I believe she's going to do she's given me a lot of the downloads for this reading. So with that, I'm going to just start off with okay, so the communication that they use to contact us, um, the angels use numbers. Different guides use different things. So one guide could be sending you, like, sometimes you get those songs that just get stuck in your head, and you're just like, where did I hear that? Why do I have this jingle in my head? And sometimes it's there all day and you just can't get rid of it. That's one of your guides that's trying to communicate with you, but with that song. Now, angels use numbers. That's why they had me bring this out. Um, they also use symbols. There's colors and shapes. They repeating messages or phrases. They use animals and bugs. And sometimes they even use clouds. I mean, no kidding. They even, like, for me, like, they even use rocks. Like, I found this heart-shaped rock. I had put out I was just talking to the universe one day, and I'm like, if you're hearing me and my request is going to be fulfilled, like, can you show me a sign? And I said, I'm going to the beach today. I want to, help me find, like, I would like to find a heart-shaped rock to confirm that you've heard my message, and my message is going to be received and understood and delivered to me, basically. And no word of a lie, we went to the ocean hours later, and this stone just jumped right out. Like, honestly, like, look at it. There's no mistaking it's a heart. It's beautiful. I love it so much, and I keep it out here on my table. So I have many of them. I actually have a box full of them, but that one I think is probably my favorite. So moving on. Now, the other thing they wanted me, oh, and they said you could also communicate, because I'm going to tell you, spirit, they can hear our thoughts, so they know what our deepest desires are. They are quite aware of it, but on the other hand, they cannot um, intervene on our for us. They cannot do anything for us if we don't invite them in. So I have a little ritual there that you can do that I'm going to, talk about in this reading, so that you'll have like some guidelines on what to do to protect yourself and be able to tap in. So mainly they when you're, you can leave a note for them even, and with that note, you can ask a specific question, but be specific and clear with your question. And then ask them if they can, like, if you've heard this, like I did, like, find a button or a dime or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, um, what else here? Yeah, they also spoke about like those, and that's why they brought up about the thoughts, because controlling those thoughts in your mind, that's why it's so important to control those thoughts, because your thoughts can be heard in through the universe, because we're all connected together. So because we're all connected as one, like our physical bodies, only some people have that ability to read your mind, but in the ether, you know that energy is fluid, basically, and that they can pick up on those, because you do have your specific guides, and you have your main guide, and then you have different guides that come in throughout your life. So your main guide's always there, though, like they just take a couple steps back and allow the other guide to come in. Like, I just received a new guide one day last week, and we're still trying to like figure it out, working together. Well, more me, not her, it's me, because for me it's somebody new, but for her, like she said, we've been together through lifetimes. So okay, so um the numbers that I've been getting today is 1 2 3 in a row, 1 2 3. Number twos, the twos have been very specific. The number 31, the number 13, and the fours, so the number fours. The other thing they talked about was about being in nature and the importance of that. Now, if you're not able to go and sit on the grass and lean on a tree, or put your feet on the lawn, if you're not able to do that and it's like cold like it is here, you can buy actual grounding mats. You can buy them that you can just put under your feet, in front of your chair where you spend most of your time, or doing dishes, or you can even put one on your bed. So they're very flexible type mats, and they're not run by electricity. It just is plugged into the grounding socket. That's, like your socket, how you have the two prongs, and then you have the center, the circle one. That circle one is your grounding. It's to ground your electricity. So you only plug it into the grounding wire, and that grounding wire is connected to the earth. So then that will then give you the same effect as if you were outside, or you can sit in a room full of your plants if you have any. The other thing that they suggest, so the things that I did see when I was out on my walk, and it was pairs of everything. It was ducks, lovebirds, red robins, geese, and I saw like a pile of crows. Now, the other thing too is, I had some visions, and those visions were of a lit candle, a snake, the color blue, the color purple, and the color gold. Now, I believe that those colors are for your chakras. So we're going to probably touch base on those chakras today. And the snake isn't because, like you're a low person or nothing, and I know they use the snake as an evil thing in the Bible, but that's not what the snake represents. It can represent that depending on the reading, but snakes represent a lot of different things. And snakes are actually very godly. They're because they're part of the Bible stories, and that's how I refer to them, as stories. So, but the snake represents shedding the old skin. So that tells me that you're expanding your mind, you're expanding your thought processes, and it will, like I heard, it'll bring a new version of you, of yourself, of your higher self. That's why they brought up the higher self earlier, I suppose. Now, um, they also brought up about keys. And I noticed that they brought up about the keys on the pendants here as well. So, they wanted me to explain a little bit about what they mean by the keys. So the key is basically you, and the explanation, with that intuition is, intuition comes as a little whisper to you. For instance, I don't know, you're running late, and you just get that little whisper as you're heading out the door. Don't forget your keys, and you stop and go, oh, keys, and then you grab your keys and you run. So it's that type of thing. That is your intuition. That is spirit helping you to make your day a little bit easier. Now, had you not thought of those keys, and then you would have got yourself locked out of your house, and maybe didn't, and then you wouldn't have the keys to get in your car, so you would have been locked out of both your house and your car, you know what I mean? And it could have created like a whole thing for your day. So now, and to know when it's not your intuition is if it's loud and persistent. When you have that voice going over in your head repeatedly over and over, and it's loud and it just won't stop, that is not your intuition. That is your ego. Now, egos have their place. Ego is, the thing that keeps us from getting eaten by a bear or run over by a train. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the spiritual world, the ego, it's the opposite of the light, but they're both equally important, if you understand what I mean. Now, um, they talked about the chakras and that it was important for you to do some clearing on your chakras. Now, um, they were bringing up a lot of like cleansing with the water. So, or like having showers or spiritual baths. Now, they did mention, I did do a reading already called Spiritual, what was it called again? What's the name of that? Oh, Build Your Spiritual Toolbox. That's the name of the video. That video has some messages in there that you might find helpful. It actually has, I had a recipe. I put a recipe in that video that was part of the reading. And it is like a mixture that you can make for doing, for having a spiritual bath. Okay. So the other thing that they recommended is about having to drink herbal tea. Use things that have soothing smells like lavender, frankincense, cinnamon, anything that you prefer. And you can use those like burn candles or um, have like an incense going, or put those. You could even put lavender petals in your bathtub. You can use rose petals, whatever you want. You can use herbs even. And so the other thing is too, they were mentioning a lot about the crystal quartz. Now, uh, I guess it's the quartz. They said actually it's just the quartz crystal. It does not matter what color it is. They said it does not matter as long as it's crystal. And like this one, it's got a bit of a blue tinge to it. I don't know if you can really tell. Um, and this one's just clear. You can get smoky quartz. You can get all different types. So it doesn't really matter what kind of quartz that you use. So they're recommending to get that. They're recommending to have a really quiet and comfortable space that you can make your own, that you would not be disturbed in. They also recommend that you use frequency music, which you can use to actually cleanse your chakras. Now, cleansing your chakras, you can do that in different ways, but there's you can use the different colors and the music to help clear those. Now, today, for this reading itself, I believe because they were bringing up about feelings of being judged. So those feelings of being judged is part that would be like your sacral and your solar. Now, your sacral is like just a couple inches below your belly button, and your solar is your gut, so your stomach area. Now, the sacral is where your creativity, your emotions, and your relationships are. It's also the color orange. Now, with sacral, it's best to use water for balancing those, for that for that chakra itself. And for the solar, that is yellow. And that is where that's the it's funny too because that's the key energy center. There's that key again. They talk about that's where your personal power, your self-esteem, and your confidence is. And for balancing that, affirmations, meditations, and yoga poses are all really good. Now, if you're older and yoga is not, a thing that you can do, then you can use chanting sounds as well. You can even have that playing. You don't have to actually be singing it yourself, but you know, you can have that frequency playing, and it's the ram or the you know what I mean? So you can use either one of those, and that will help clear that so you can have clear decision making. So if that is something that, you know, if you need to make a big decision or a tough decision, you get that frequency on, and you sit in that quiet space and you do that sound, and it'll help balance that solar chakra. And that solar chakra is, you know, because they say your gut is like the second brain basically. So that will help you to make those better decisions. It will help. That's where like your intuition, you know, between that and your third eye and your crown. And that's why I think it came out with the colors blue, purple, and gold, because the gold would represent the sacral and the solar together, which would give you like orange and yellow gives you like a gold color. And the blue is, it could either be your throat chakra, but I believe for this one it was your third eye because it was a brighter blue, not a pale blue. And the crown is purple. So your third eye, your crown, and your gut, that's all connected for your intuition, because your third eye and your crown is where you're getting those downloads from spirit, from ascended masters and angels and all that. And your gut is like literally what connects to all of that. Okay. So with that being said, they're saying how you um you get that space, you light a white candle. They're recommending a white candle for starting. Just use white candle. Um Look at that candle for a little bit, and then create this ball of light around you, this wall of light. Surround yourself in the light. And while you're doing that, you ask your guides to come. You can just do it in your mind, or you could verbally say, you know, okay, my guides and angels, if you can come and help lead me and protect me while I'm doing this meditation. And then you can close your eyes and picture roots coming out of your feet and deep into the earth. And you're going to anchor yourself into Mother Earth. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to clear your mind. And that is going to be a little bit of practice. Now, the best thing is to take 3 big breaths. So in through the nose, hold 3 or 4 seconds, and release that air slowly out of your mouth. And you can do that up to 5 times, but 3, 4 times is usually more than enough. Now, if you're really upset, maybe 5 times is what you need. Um, my dog keeps interrupting. Of course, see, I'm talking about that space. You see what I mean? Oh, hold on. I have to go get her. Come on. Let's go. Okay, sorry about that. She doesn't like walking past my big dog while she's in her bed. I don't. It's a dog thing. I don't know. Again, you find a space that you don't have the interruptions. Unfortunately, I just cannot find that space where I don't have interruptions, but hopefully you can. um, Mind you, I do a lot of my meditation when I'm out walking, and I do a lot of I go when the dogs are running around in the woods or whatever. I just sit down on a big rock or lean on a tree, and I meditate that way too. Or I do it when everybody's gone to bed and it's quiet, and the house is settled down, and the only things up is me and the lights. Now, I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, the other thing too is once you get into a meditation, if you start thinking that you're moving, like you're kind of rocking a little, or you're kind of feel like you're swaying in little circles or something, that's okay. You don't have to, but I mean, if you do, that's okay. That's actually a really good sign. And the same with if you start seeing colors, like especially if you see purple, that's completely okay. And if you don't see it, that's okay too. It all takes time. The meditation, it does take time. But to make those really good, strong decisions, cleaning your solar chakras and keeping your aura clean is really the best way to do that. And you can really do that again, like through like water and the frequency. Okay. Oh, and not to mention those affirmations. That's why they had me do that affirmation at the very beginning. Okay. So with that, I'm just going to, I'm just cleansing my hands with my selenite. So I think I mentioned all the things here. They did bring up the bee too. They brought up the butterfly, the dragonfly, the bee, the wings. So these are like the angel wings over here. They brought up the unicorn, the key, this key, and then the small key over there, and then the music notes. So I think you might be getting contacted through music for sure. And I think they might be using butterflies and dragonflies. Now, dragonflies are actually very spiritual. Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So I'm just going to lay this over here out of the way. Now, if you're new to my channel, what Spirit does is they have me pick up cards and I set them aside and I read them at the end. And those cards have everything to do with the reading. Now, when I do a pre-shuffle before I start, now I was shuffling this deck here and this card 555 with the butterfly and change came out. Now it came out again with the white light, the green, which is your heart. So I think that again goes with feelings, and this pink, and the pink represents the universe, your higher chakras, basically. So, and then the 555, that all represents change as well. So I'm going to just put that back in. And if it comes out, fine. If it not, okay, look at that. It came out 1111, leveling up. So you could also be seeing like these shapes. So that's square, and then there's 4. Yeah, and I did actually bring up the number 4 too. So I'm just going to set that aside. They're going to have me read that card at the end of the reading. And I'll just set it here for now, and then I'll move them. And on the bottom here, it says reshape. Look at that. And I was just talking about shapes. Okay, Spirit. Okay, so this is a brand new deck I have never used before. This is from what's it called again? These are done by a Dr. Stephen D. Farmer. Messages from Spirits of Nature Oracle. Okay, and fire is on the bottom. And also when I was shuffling this deck, the volcano, I split it on volcano too. Oh my God, look, I split it on snake. And I had a vision of a snake. And look, it's even got the snake skin. Spirit, you want this? Shedding. And it's number 36 too. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting the snake. But okay, that's the only card? Yes, they said yes. Look, okay, I'm just gonna see if there's any other message here. Resurrection. Yeah, the lotus. That's number 222. Okay, so we're just going to leave that on the bottom. Oh, look, and dandelion too. See all that yellow? See what they're talking about? See all that yellow and the orange? They're talking, and even the green, but they are talking about, that's those feelings again that they're talking about. So the dandelion's on the bottom. So it's a confirmation about the feelings. Okay, Spirit. Okay. And this one here, the bottom, run wild. Horses. It's never truly the end. They want me to this is the deck called The Inner Child. So I'm going to see what this wants here. Spirit, what is it that you want Mary to know? This isn't just for Mary either. It's for all of us, because this is something that we all need to do. Let go of those feelings that that's what they're talking about here. Look, and you get that orange and that yellow yet again. Let go of all that no longer serves you. It's on the bottom. You do not have to go it alone. Reach out for support at this time. Oh my God. And that actually was something that Spirit was talking about, because they were saying how, and look, this number's 23 and this one's 43. From 23 to 43. So Spirit was talking about how in the pre-download, they were telling me about how they will give us the messages as many times as we need them. You know, so to just let you know that you're never alone. And all those crows that I saw, and it's funny too, because on the walk, it's like I would see one crow and it would fly ahead and land on a tree, some 3-4 houses ahead of me, and the lots are big here, so it's a bit of a walk. And then I would get there, and then that bird would just like fly off in a different direction. And then I would look up ahead, and like 3 or 4 houses down the road, I would see another crow that like kind of just appeared out on the road out of nowhere. And then it would fly up onto a telephone pole. And then as soon as I would get near that telephone pole, that would fly off. And it did that the whole way. Literally, it was like 6 different crows. And so that told me that I'm not alone. I'm being led, just like you're being led. Your guides are always ahead of you, drawing you forward. So just to let you know that you are not alone, and that reaching out for support at this time. So, Mary reached out to me to find some support, and Spirit's like, yeah, we'll answer the call. No problem. Here we go. Here's the information, Jane. Get working. So here I am. That's how it works. See? Okay. So there we go. So we have this one here. I'm just going to set these aside out of the way. Actually, Spirit wants me to have the snake one visible, and I don't know. Okay. It's that shedding that I was just talking about. See how I was just talking about that? How they make that happen? It's amazing how they get that to, they do that. That's where they say that's where all the magic is. That's what they were just telling me. That's where all the magic is. So I don't know where they want me to put these. Ugh. It's that purple and pink again, too. Again, surrounded with that white light. They're really emphasizing that white light. Okay. So I am just going to set these. Oh, Lord, I'm just going to set that there for now. And I'll move them when I need to. But it'll give you opportunity to look at them. I need a drink. Hold on. I get extremely thirsty working with the energies. All that water they use. Okay. Now this deck here is called, it's a new deck too, so it's very sticky. Energy Oracle. Now, they had me do this. Look at the horses. Look, black and white. Well, the action. That's you taking the action. You know what? The white is representing your intuition, and that black is representing your shadow self, your ego. That's what they want that's about. Rest and rejuvenate. See, and they're talking about here about how this is, for you doing this, like surrounding yourself in this light, fun, in this quiet space for yourself. Oh my God. And the angel of balance. They want you to bring balance. That's what they were talking about with your yeah, all that leading from your heart. Look, and it's 4/4 too. And indecision was on the bottom. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? It's that balancing. And you'll notice in these, also you'll notice here, with the balancing, you'll notice the two colors again, those two chakras that I discussed in the pre-download about the how to cleanse and balance that sacral and how to balance that solar. So the angel of balance is here for you. Oh, and that's why the angel wing came out over here. The Bride of an Angel card. Is there any more here? Oh, this card just fell out when I picked it up. Oh my God, is that a candle? Is it a candle? Oh my word, it is. It's a candle. And I was thinking, why would you give me a vision of a candle? I don't think I even have cards that have a candle in it, but this is a new deck. And look, there's a candle in it. The thinking man, look and see how he's staring so deeply into that candle? That's that focus that they're talking about. And that thinking is the brain. Oh, they want me to talk about that. They did talk to me about that. So Spirit had, they used to refer to our brains, like my brain, as like, I'm just going to say it, like a chicken with its head cut off. And you know how like they when the head's cut off a chicken and you just drop it to the ground, it runs around because all the nerves are still like going off and the wings are flapping and it's just running around, running around. They refer to those as my thoughts, like when my thoughts get that to that point. And when my brain is doing that, you know, to find something to focus on to pull my brain out of that. And you'll notice that she's also focusing. What is that she's focusing on? Yeah, that's just a jar of water. But it's the fact that she's focusing on it. You know what I mean? Okay. So there's oh my God, there's even a bird flying in the sky here. I don't know if you can see it. It's really small, but it's like right there, flying above the horses. Okay. Okay, they want all four of these here. So I'm going to have to move this unicorn here and set the snake one. I don't think you can see that snake one anymore. Not so much. I can't believe they came out with that snake card. That was pretty cool. Okay, so they want this one up here because this is all about the focusing and the thinking. You know, I didn't know how they were going to make any of these cards work with this deck, but here they have it. And that's the door to spirit. I just cut the deck and look. Number 32. Oh my God, look, and it's a dove. Spirit. It's a door to spirit. Doing that, it's the door to spirit. It certainly is. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Okay, this new guide, she is like fantastic. Her and I just like, we really connect. I mean, it took a little bit to get us here, but wow, I'm really impressed with her. Okay, I really love the idea of the confirmation of the snake. That just blows me away. Okay, Spirit, what next? These ones here. Yeah, see this ego. Oh my God. And on the bottom, it says cleansing on this deck. This is the deck. What's this deck called? Energy and Spirit. This one's called Energy and Spirit. And on the bottom, it's a shamanic healer. And it says cleansing and attunement. And that's what they were talking about. They were talking about another confirmation, talking about cleansing those chakras, balancing those chakras, and keeping your aura clean. Look, justice, harmony, and solutions. Yeah, I think you're probably wanting some justice here because it did come up in the pre-download about feeling about being judged. So finding some harmony and a solution to that is actually critical. I just heard it's critical to whatever you need here. Unfortunately, humans judge way too. Look, your internal spirit. I'm not even, like, your higher self, sacred intuition. I just talked about your intuition and your higher self in the Pre-download. I mean, wow, Spirit. These cards are just popping today. Look, and balance. See how balance is upside down today. So you're off balance. And look, you'll even notice the sacral in the yellow here. Do you see that? Do you see that sacral in the yellow? Centered energy about your self-care, but that was in reverse. So that's what they're talking about. You need to balance those two chakras that I was talking about earlier. That's very vital for you. Oh, you know why? Because look at this attachment card that came up, number 2, um, longing and desperation. I think that you've these are all those emotions and stuff, those things from the past that you're working through. Oh, and that's why they brought up the card, something about letting go. Oh, this one about letting go. Yeah, letting go of those feelings. You know, the intuition and your that really has a lot to do with those feelings. So facing those feelings, that's why like here you're that's why they brought this out, because they're saying here, you see how the horse is running, this white horse, that is your conscious mind. That's your everyday, you know, like don't get hit by a car and, you know, like all that stuff. That's your conscious mind. And the shadow self is where you have all those deep, you know, that's where a lot of your, well, all of us, not just you, but all of us, that is where we keep all of our emotions, like all those hurts and all those things like that, all those, you know, like being judged, all those things that rumble around our thinking man head, or chicken head, really. Um, that's where they talk about, you know, like it's hard to face that. You know, we all run away from it. We don't want to look at that part of ourselves because we don't want to think of ourselves as bad people or, you know, mean people. You know, we all want to think of ourselves in a higher way. We want to think of ourselves that we are good people and kind people and honest people. But see, the thing is, there's times that, you know, you do like you get into that angry self and you lash out at somebody, and you know, like that's your ego doing that, not because you're not coming from a place of love. Because if you were coming from a place of love, you know, you wouldn't be angry, you wouldn't be hateful to anyone. So facing those parts of us ourselves that we don't like, it's part of the spiritual journey. And you know, like facing that, that's like those emotions, all those emotions are always behind us, they're always there. I mean, you don't always see them, but they are there. You know, obviously all of our good parts are like way out in front and it's running fast, but this, it's always trotting behind, it's always there. So it's best to just stop and face it and deal with those emotions so that you can move on with your everything. Okay, Spirit. Wisdom of the Magi on the bottom, mental clarity. Yeah, that'll bring some mental clarity for you. Well, personal guide, your guardian angel and spirit family. And that's what I was talking about earlier, about how your guides are always with you. You're not alone. Like this is you and they're always behind you. They're just like, they're always there. Always. They're always like, you know, I have my hand out to you. Do you want to reach back? They're always reaching out to you. Okay, did you want that card, Spirit? Ugh. Thought vibrations, look. These are these are the thoughts and the signals, look. Spirit. Oh, looking right behind it. Again, personal guide. Okay, is that it for this? Okay, Spirit. Is there anything else that you want here? Not from this deck, no. Yeah, seeing it come up with conscious steps here, and they're talking about here, like consider your actions and look forward. Like, and again, it's coming up with that yellow and orange and the blue again. It's all about that connection. Lo, and I just split the deck again on attachment. So yeah, you have to deal with those emotions. Those emotions, unfortunately, it's part of it, and it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to get through, but it's necessary. It's a necessary thing. But cleansing, that's probably the fastest way, is cleansing that. Um, Okay, they were asking me to bring out this deck here. It's a new deck as well. What's the name of it? I don't know the name of any of my decks. I don't even know half of my decks. I just pull out the cards and read them. What happened to that box? Oh, this is called the Animal Apothecary deck. And look at that. Claim your power on the bottom. And that's what Spirit always wants you to do, is be in your power. Yeah, because action leads to success. Spirit. Beautiful message of Spirit. I wasn't sure how they were going to make this work, but boy, they're really making it work. Alrighty. Look, they asked me to turn it over, and look, it's a butterfly and a metamorphosis. Again, a butterfly, that is that transformation. It's that change. Okay. Yeah, they're really drawing my attention to the colors on this snake. And they're saying how with the snake here, with the red like rooting into the earth, having those roots into the earth, and being connected to the earth is really important for grounding. Yes, Spirit, thank you. But I was going to say for meditation, but they came up with the word grounding. And you'll also see, like, there's, you know, this yellow going on, because the yellow is where your intuition is. And in certain angles, it actually does look orange as well. I mean, even the skin's been shut off. That's just blows me away that they came out with that. Look, it's your inner truth. That's what they're talking about, facing. Shake, release, and heal. Oh, Spirit, and move on. That's what they're saying here. Seeing these thought vibrations too, they're talking about how, you know, your brain's just constantly, you know, like when you're in a meditation and your brain is going on fast forward, you just kind of pull yourself back and go, okay, I don't need to think about that right now. So you basically just shake that off. You release the thought, you heal it, and then you move on. But that's mainly for your feelings, I think, this one here. But it also talks about, to me, about all those thoughts that you're having, because the colors are so similar. Okay, is there another card you want here, Spirit? You are more. See that? You are more. See, and this is that perspective. You are more than what you've been led to believe. Like, we come onto this earth and we just think, you know, working 9 to 5 and raising the kids and, you know, getting the groceries, and, you know, that's really what our life, but really that is not what our lives are supposed to be. I mean, they are, because we're in a 3D matrix basically, but really what we're supposed to be are just loving, peaceful, tapped in, just like he is, like in this peace and feeling this love and having this energy coming from the light of source, you know, having that connection with our angels. Okay, so I'm going to move these because they want me to pull out another animal card here. So I'm just going to set these aside over here somewhere. Just lean them there, I guess, for now. And this is an animal oracle card deck called Spirit of the Animal. So it's a giraffe on the bottom, which is visionary, and bison is abundance. Okay, let's see what Spirit, this, there'll be a message here from this card. asking me to go in here and grab this one. Oop, this one. It's the dragonfly. And they had me wear my dragonfly pants. And they also had me point out the dragonfly. Just another confirmation. Oh God, and the magic. And I always start like, let's see what the magic, the magic will bring. I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant. I am blessed. It literally has all these confirmations on here because we were talking about the change and the transformation, shedding that skin. We were talking about being courageous by dealing with your shadow self and releasing these feelings of in your sacral and your solar chakra. It also talks about here the magic of nature, like being in nature, the importance of it, and the affirmations of that I said earlier about being in your higher self and trusting your higher self. And this is like, I am brilliant, I am blessed. Those are the things that you need to say to yourself every day. Those affirmations are really important. Oops. And then hummingbirds on the bottom, it's miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. And you know what? That's probably why they were bringing out all the wings too, because there was a lot of wings today. Look, and then I split it on B. The bee community. You are a powerful creator. Oh, and they talked about the creation too, about creating. Your work blesses everything you touch. Be open to receive sweetness. You are the queen of abundance. Okay, Spirit. That was really beautiful. Thank you. These are beautiful messages. Okay, so they asked me to also bring out a card that is sorry for that noise. It's what's this called? Something crystal deck or something. The crystal oracle deck. Now, they're trying to split this here, so I'm going to see what they're trying to split it on. Selenite. Oh, and you know what? My unicorn horn. That is selenite. Maybe that's why they were asking me to bring that out. That selenite. Okay. And then they're asking me to split it on something else here too. No, that's not the one. Oh, I missed it. I think it's this one here. Alex Android. Let your one-of-a-kind magic sparkle. Wow, they're talking about that magic a lot. But you know, this is pretty magical, them doing this reading too, right? Oh my goodness, and rose quartz. And you know, they were talking about all the quartz too. And I was saying, like, you can use any color. You can use like blue, rose. This is a rose quartz. I mean, the pink, this is really pale. So the pinker, the better. And it's, that's heart too. That's a heart for heart. Let me see what they're going to pull out though. Okay. I'd laugh if they pull out another quartz. Okay, let's see what they have here, what they want here. A tiger's eye. Well, I have a tiger's eye right here. You've earned your stripes. You've earned your stripes. Spirit, that is funny. You earned your stripes. Yeah. Amazonite. Oh my God, I cannot speak. Trust your instincts. Look, whatever your the green aventurine, thank your lucky star. Yeah, trust your instincts is really important. Okay. Okay, so they're going to have me read this angel number here. I'm going to read these cards and then call the reading. Okay, let's see here. I need that book. Okay, leveling up. That's this leveling up here. That comes over here. They always have me put them on certain cards. So dealing, having that action, dealing with your ego, doing this meditation. And I mean, oh yeah, I just realized that you have two people meditating here. And her third eye is just popping. Her heart and her third eye is. And you'll see he looks like he's working on his solar and his sacral chakras there. Okay, 1144. Could be seeing a lot of ones too. 1144. The best decisions are made from a place of peace and stability. Check in on your foundations. Oh, that's why they were talking about the red, because the red is the base chakra. You are the how are you keeping yourself grounded, centered? Are there any needs you may have been neglecting? Prioritize your inner work. Pour your whole heart into whatever it is you're working on. We promise all that labor will pay off in the long run. Seeing the running. Spirit, you're so funny. Any positive adjustments you can make to your habits help to cultivate a life of greater happiness and reward. And they're not joking, because just making those small adjustments, it really does make a difference. Even just saying those positive, or humming the sound, using frequency while you're doing the dishes or having a bath, it really does make a difference. Finding a center of stability and inner peace, doing the hard inner work, breaking up stale routines in favor of healing practices, and putting your heart into your work you're proud of. And then here the affirmation is, I level up my life by challenging one thing at a time. And when you challenge, that's why when you challenge that one thing, you're actually challenging your ego, because it makes you think. It causes you to address the ego. And just addressing that ego is the beginning of the healing. Very good, Spirit. And now letting go. Yep, the next one they want of letting go, or the shedding. Okay, they want the shedding next. And then it'll be the letting go. So shedding. What book is that? It's a new. Oh, that's the new deck. So I'm not familiar with the cards. It's the first time I've ever pulled a card out. I mean, I shuffled them, but I didn't. I always do a pre-shuffle, and I did shuffle them, and the day I received them, but I haven't really worked with them. So snake. There's a surprising, okay, let's just do the message here, because that's a lot of la la la. We know what a snake is. It's time to shed your skin, to allow a bigger self to emerge from that which has up to now encompassed and defined you, or at least who you thought you were. There's those thoughts again. You've been feeling like the old skin no longer fits, and I was saying how that you're expanding. Yet there is a natural tendency to cling to the false security and predictably of these familiar habits and ways of being. Through it will require a period of solitude and contemplation. You're sensing an urge to wriggle out of the physical and emotional entanglements that have kept you from loosening and self-creating bonds that have served their purpose up till now. This may also be a signal to shed those belongings that no longer fit. Who are you becoming? After a time, whether weeks or months, the self that is emerging will create new attachments and relationships, and will even more intimately related to the natural world and the spirit that expresses as these multitude of beings. It's an inevitable transition for you, one where you will still be you, yet with a greater sense of purpose and willingness to continue changing as each new era in your life presents itself. Though some struggle may precede this emergence, your trust in the process grows stronger and deeper and can be totally supported by calling on your spirit guides. No joke. Wow. That is amazing. That was just what we were talking about this ego, dealing with this ego. Okay, so letting go. Okay, that's also a doctor too that did these cards. Sorry, I was wrong about that. That wasn't a doctor. Never mind. And I'm still trying to figure what it is that's laying down here, what this white thing is. I don't know what that is. I can't figure out what that is. I keep looking at it and staring at it, but I can't figure it out. Okay. Number 23. I'll look that out and right to it. Okay. It is in our nature as humans to hold tightly to what is familiar. Isn't that what we just read with the snake? Knowing the weight and measure of what we carry can bring us a great sense of comfort. Oftentimes, the known seems to be the wiser choice compared to the unknown. It is important to be aware that just as a tree shapes itself around a known obstacle that has forced it to take a new path, these things we hold tightly to do, we hold tightly that we hold tightly to can also change the course of our destiny. If you have pulled this card, then it might be time to reflect on what you need to release. So there's a self-care exercise here that they're suggesting. So it says here, ask yourself if there is something keeping you back or forcing you to grow in a direction that might not be for your benefit. There can be many things that we hold on to for too long, such as the past, an ideal, a dream, or a painful memory. All those things that we already discussed through. See what I mean? How they take these 3 cards and then it's everything about what was going on in the reading. Even the pre-download has been, wow, spirit. Even if we have grafted these aspects into our being, it is now time to let go of all that no longer serves you. Free the pent up energy inside of you and imagine it leaving your body as you inhale and exhale deeply. Forgive disappointments and do not allow bitterness in. Let go of the control and allow what needs to die. So that you may blossom again once more. That's all those beautiful blossoms. And you see how he's doing this release, like you see this energy that they're talking about, releasing this type of energy. Very good, spirit. Wow. Yep. And they're saying that you can journal. I think I even said something about journaling too. How does it feel in your body to let go of what is no longer needed? Do you feel lighter when you think about letting go? How does your inner child feel when you think about letting go? Yeah. So journaling that kind of stuff out and those thoughts. And you do that journaling and then you wait a couple days and you go back and read that and you're like, yeah, I don't feel like that at all. Yeah, I see how my thoughts are different from my actual feelings. It really does bring perspective. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close the reading. So thank you, Mary, for giving the suggestion. And like I said, if anybody else has ideas that they want a reading done, you just put that into the comments or send me an email and I will meditate on it. I just only use your first name and we'll dedicate that reading to you and I will do a reading. It's actually been quite fun. So with that, thank you, Spirit, for all your guidance and your help today. I'm sure that we can get a lot of use out of it. And I hope this helps you out, Mary. and for everyone else too, because this is for all of us, not just Mary. But Mary, that was a really great suggestion. It really was, because this is really the building block. That's the fours. You know what I mean? Because I was picturing a block when they said the four. When I saw the four, kept seeing four. I kept thinking, four legs in a square, four sides. So basically the meditation, like clearing out all that old stuff while you're bringing in all this different new stuff. It really does help you let go, and it helps you expand. And just like the dragonfly, you're just going to burst into a whole different person. It's going to be awesome. So with that, sending love and light, and I hope this video finds you well, and I hope it'll be very helpful on your journey. If anybody really likes this reading, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and subscribe and share, and just spread this beautiful message worldwide, because this is something that we can all benefit from. And with us, we're the ones that are going to change the world. Have a good day, everyone.